I'm recording this just so that we can have a very frank discussion about matchmaking in War Thunder at the moment. At the moment, we have, in this match, aside from an idiot flying a B-57, we have a Canberra. We also have 1, 2, 3, 4 F-80Cs. Now, all wonderful planes, great, grand, and glorious. However, not one of these 6 aircraft fought over the Rhur. Oh, but matchmaking and battle rating are nothing but pure fantasy BS. Gaijin needs to pull their collective out of their rectum and get this game settled back into, if you want to say realistic, then a realistic mode. Because right now, we have nothing of the sort. Now I can buy into the Meteor F3s. I can buy into the Bearcats and the Typhoons. Why this Typhoon is in there, I have no idea. He's way too low in the battle rating to be matched against the German team. But there he is. He's in the game. But this plane, the F-80C Shooting Star, has absolutely no business being matched against World War II aircraft. But Gaijin says Gaijin is full of, well, I regret calling them this and don't regret it at the same time, but children who have absolutely no idea what the hell they're doing. They're great programmers, they're great game makers, but as far as balancing this program so that the proper planes are fighting in the proper venues, not a chance. Here's another plane that really I don't understand, and I probably never will understand. It's wonderful. They made it fly. Just because they made it fly doesn't make it viable in this game. It's too fragile. It's too slow. It's not really worthy of being in the game, but people were jonesing for it so badly they had to have it, and there it is. I'm not going to complain. It's their business if they want to fly it. It's just that they screw their team over by having it. People say that I screw over my team by having this plane. And if we carry this through to the end, I didn't have the highest score. I didn't kill the most planes. I didn't kill the most ground targets. But I did my job. I bombed. And I took points away from the enemy team. Did I take enough? No. But again, this is a 1943 vintage aircraft. And this plane, well, I can't show it to you now because it's not in contact with any of ours. There we go. No, not going to show me any of them. But the F-80C Shooting Star is a 1948-1949 vintage aircraft. That's 5 to 6 years of development 5 to 6 years. Years. Do you know what that is in aircraft development? That's forever. That is literally forever. And I got to give it to our team. We did a magnificent job. There were just too many 1948, 1949 vintage aircraft for us to defeat. Again, we did a magnificent job. Props to the fighter team. The SPOR squadron, they did grand work. The HO229 pilot, VF Delta, he stayed in the game for quite a while, which is uncommon for the HO229 because, again, it's a fragile plane, it's slow, and it ends up getting either it either breaks its wings or it gets shot down early in the match. Apparently VF Delta is a pretty good pilot because he stuck with it, and it wasn't until F-80s ganged up on him that he died. But in reality, that was one of the few planes, the F-8F-1B Bearcat, and it never flew over Europe, so don't know what to tell you. Although I kind of wish that our team didn't go for ground targets. It probably wasn't very profitable other than to their profit. None of them other than me and the HO229 actually had weapons capable of destroying the medium tanks, which are what counted. And when I say what counts, I mean that's the only thing that counts towards the kill markers. You can destroy all the vehicles and AAA you want, and it does not count towards the end of the match. It's like when you're flying the Germans, the only thing that counts, or when you're flying the Americans, the only thing that counts is killing pillboxes. You can kill artillery and you can kill AAA all day long. You can eliminate them all from the match. And just because you've eliminated them from the match does not mean you are going to win. You could have a kill count of 50, but that does nothing to the marker. Hate to say it, but that's the way it is. But as you can see, now the only planes left on the enemy team are 4 F-80 Shooting Stars. And nothing against the players, Luftwaffe, who is the guy that ended up getting credit for shooting me down even though I was on the runway. They're cowards. I'm sorry, we have one F-8F-1B left in the match. I don't know whether he survives or not. I really don't care. But if you're flying a 1948, 1949 vintage jet fighter against 1943, 1944 vintage prop-driven planes and jets, fighter, sort of, and a bomber, an unarmed bomber, I consider you a moral coward, unwilling to drop down into a plane, a prop plane, or a older P-80, which none of the P-80s actually flew in Europe. although the YP80 did fly in Europe. The P80 is the final acceptance version of the P80 program. The P80A is the final acceptance version. The YP80A is the final test version of the P80 program prior to acceptance. People will argue that. They would be wrong. And the only way you can prove that is by actually reading the manual, the flight manual for the YP80A and the P80A. They are different. The engines used in the YP80A and the P80A are different. Learn it, love it, get to know it. But I'll accept the P80A and the Meteor F3. However, the Meteor F3 is really pushing it. Also, the Brits need the Meteor F1 because the Mark I Meteor was used in World War II, and it was on continental Europe. Never got into combat, but it was there. So, that said, I'm sick to death of the F-80Cs in matches they do not belong in. And there's my buddy in the HO229 getting picked on by a couple of F-80C shooting stars. Kind of wondering what Luftwaffe is doing here. He was probably looking for me, trying to loiter around at low speed. Looks like they finally got that F8, F1. But again, we're back to dealing with what I consider to be moral cowards because they're using planes that are years in advance of anything that they were flying against. And I'm not blaming them, I'm blaming Gaijin. Gaijin has created a situation which is ridiculous. And the same can be said about the MiG-9, MiG-9 bis. Those planes have absolutely no business flying against World War II planes. But you'll say, yes, they were designed and built in 1946. So was the Yak-15, Yak-17. Yak-15 and 17 I can buy into. Single engine redesign of the Yak-3. He even has all the Yak-3 design flaws like low top airspeed. But the MiG-9, much more robust plane, dual engines, heavy armament. Two 23s and a 37 millimeter. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. There's a lot of stupidity involved in this. But that's life. It's a game. It's a game I love. It's a game I like to play. And damn, I can be good at it. Last three fighters on our team: 109K4, D12 190, and a D9 190. Going up against F80C Shooting Star, F80C Shooting Star, F80C Shooting Star. Thanks, Gaijin. You so stupid. I started in on this tank column because I wanted to get a couple of ground kills. Bombing on this map is one of the most difficult I can think of because of all the trees. Oh my god, it makes targeting so difficult. It's almost like you need to wait until they come out into the open before you go after anything. Get lined up. He's in the trees again. He's hidden. And my god, they move fast on this map. I mean, these guys are almost moving as fast as what I would consider race cars in tanks. First bomb's missed. Circle back. Try and come back in on this guy. Don't get the angle. Hold off. Circle, circle, circle. Swing around, swing around. Got him in the open now. And this is the way you like to see your target lined up. Pure, simple. And you get to watch where this bomb goes. And it's just spectacular. That's a bomb blast that you can write home about. But on my way home now, trying to get back to the base and get reloaded. Luftwaffe is the one that spotted me and started trailing me back to my base. And you can see that he's within sight now. Let's just follow the vulturing bastard as he comes in and rapes a plane that he knows can't fight back. My plane is on its approach. You can see me coming in for the landing. Engines off, glide, touchdown, and starts shooting. That was a cowardly attack. And he knows it. He just won't admit it. And the same goes for El Beefy, who had the temerity to try and argue about being a coward. Well, that's it for the replay. Y'all have a lovely day.